Hello and welcome to another instant reaction review of Doctor Who from thespoilers.com. I'm Andrew Moir. This time we are looking at the second episode in the current run, The Rings of Akhaten. Akhaten. Oh, sorry, what? Akhaten. I always get that mixed up. This episode was written by Neil Cross, probably best known as the writer of hard-hitting cop drama Luther, but he is a self-confessed Doctor Who fan and has been in line to write since the Russell T Davies era. So, what's the plot? Well, Clara wants to go and travel and see somewhere awesome. So the Doctor decides to take her to the aforementioned rings, where there's a big festival going on, sort of like an alien Glastonbury but with less expensive t-shirts. The Doctor and Clara run into a little girl named Mary, and she's a bit terrified because she is going to be sacrificed to the big burning ball of gas that the people worship in order to keep it at bay. So of course they set out to stop it happening. There are a lot of nice touches in this episode. The visuals are suitably impressive and the world feels pretty alien. Its form of currency is very nice, with it being items of a sentimental value, and Clara has to give away her dead mother's ring. However, there are a lot of familiar Doctor Who images in this episode. It feels like we've done a lot of this before. For example, the scene of the Doctor and Clara standing in front of the burning sun seems very like a scene from The End of the World with the Doctor and Rose. Similarly, the costumes worn by the religious order seem quite like those worn in the fires of Pompeii. Also, the alien planet doesn't really seem all that different in design to the one we saw in Turn Left. In his script, Neil Cross commits one of the ultimate Doctor Who sins, the overuse of the sonic screwdriver. Now don't get me wrong, I love the sonic screwdriver, I even own a couple of them. No one wants the plot to be slowed down because the Doctor can't get through a door. Similarly with the psychic paper, no one wants him to get locked up in a cell and questioning his authority. You just want to get on with the plot, you don't want it to go to classic series. Maybe you do. I don't know. Anyway, in this episode it is used to open an unopenable door and to hold back the bad guys while everyone escapes. We also see the Doctor making a speech to defeat the big bad. Now, we've seen that before in the Pandorica Opens. The Doctor is scary, his words are scary, he is a powerful being, his mind is great, but it just feels too much like a trope now. It's all very familiar. Yes, he doesn't use weapons, but perhaps we need to come up with some slightly cleverer ways of beating the bad guys. Well, that was the bad, but what was the good? Well, actually a lot of it was away from the main plot, the exploration of the life of Clara. The teaser opens with the Doctor back in time, looking through Clara's life, from how her parents met, right up to her mother dying. It's a decent backstory and also established that Clara is just a normal girl, so the mystery of her is going to be something even greater. The leaf we saw in Clara's journal last week is explained as the reason that her parents met. We see it landing on her father's face before her mother saves him from a potential car accident. That's later used in the main plot in order to defeat the soul-sucking parasite, showing the power a tiny object can have to change the entire world. It's actually much more effective than the Doctor speechifying, and probably could have been done in the first instance. Overall, this episode just feels a little bit familiar, a little run-of-the-mill. It's not terrible by any means, but it's not great either. And in a short run of episodes, you really don't want any filler, especially as it's the 50th anniversary year. There's a nice nod to that, with the Doctor saying that he last visited this place with his granddaughter, presumably when he looked like William Hartnell. But perhaps it's we as viewers that have become jaded. This is the 7th series in this run of Doctor Who, after all, And maybe no matter what, it's going to cover some familiar territory once in a while. Then again, we're always told that Doctor Who is a show without limits, so maybe it really needs to innovate once again. We'll be back again with another review next week where there'll be a return of an old enemy. Perhaps that can create a little bit of innovation and some added tension. Goodbye.